right, time to film season 2 of KYOT. I forgot we're still in a pandemic.
It's alright, we can just film it from out here.
Should we start?
Yeah, for sure. Wake up, Monarch! I'm Lincoln Roach.
And I'm Sophia Miranda.
And it's time for KYOT. Oh, we got it. There we go. We're good.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty.
No one really knows how the rest of the semester is going to pan out.
Many are eager to get back into the classroom, and BVSD is moving into phase 2 of its 5-phase plan.
We aren't going back in person yet, but here's a look at what the rest of the semester is going to look like.
BVSD has made plans to move into Phase 2 Plus learning, making slight changes to school activities.
What Phase 2 Plus is focused on bringing back some of our most vulnerable students, and we're also having the ability to bring back clubs, activities, or maybe even some classes to meet outside. Most of the learning, if not all the learning, is going to be remaining in a virtual online format.
There's hope that in all of this, it will now be normal for students to get to choose what they want their education to look like.
I think that those models should be more prevalent for seniors in high school, absolutely, potentially juniors in high school, to have more flexibility in the way their education gets delivered.
I think the state of education, K-12 and maybe K-16, will always now be fundamentally changed. I don't know what that will look like. I don't know what that will be. I think there will always be now that virtual connectivity option and that virtual learning option.
These changes might not only affect this year, but the way that schools operate in the future.
We have experienced a pretty significant paradigm shift when it comes to what we would consider to be normal school, normal public education. And in some ways, there's a lot of historical memory lost, but at the same time, it's the new normal for people.
For KYOT, I'm Ethan Hendricks.
This week, BVSD came out with a plan that would have 9th graders back in the classroom by October 20th, and the rest of the school back on November 3rd. In-person learning would be limited to 1 day a week.
Has anyone checked in on Brandon Nimmons recently?
You know, I think he went to college in Missouri.
Connor took a look at how his brother's first month of school is going.
Many schools nationwide regretted to inform students that they wouldn't be opening their doors this fall. Elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, they all switched over to a full online layout as the impending dangers of COVID-19 proved to be too much to handle in an in-person learning environment. Who thought they could handle the dangers? KYOT alum Brandon Nimmons.
I am suffering from coronavirus.
Brandon Nimmons, now a first-year freshman at the University of Missouri, arrived on campus in early August. Little to his surprise, the school had done very little in terms of COVID protocols and measures.
The rule is if you're walking alone, you don't need a mask. But my question is, even when you're walking like that with somebody, you still got a chance of spreading the virus to them.
Brandon has been one of only a handful of students who tries best to follow protocol in order to stay COVID-free, but many students have given in to the pressure of college life and have decided that the risk is smaller than the reward, leading to outbreaks.
People are actually generally pretty good about it until they get to the parties, in which case then they stop there.
Students attending were given a hybrid schedule at the start of the semester, a schedule that consisted of both in-person and online classes.
So I've got a Principles of Journalism and Democracy online, I've got Philosophy online, and I do not recommend taking philosophy.
From the very beginning, Brandon knew that the university's setup was doomed to fail. In fact, he's a firm believer in the online school system, finding it not only safer in the midst of a pandemic, but also easier.
I do kind of like the work at your own pace style of online learning.
As for the in-person classes he's currently attending, Brandon can't help but feel a sense of anxiousness.
It's scary, right? You can't leave your dorm, and then some people have fevers, some people don't. It's pretty whack because you don't know who has it and who doesn't.
Regardless of all, he's tried his hardest to remain content in the situation he's in.
I'm happy to be here, at least I'm doing something.
For KYOT, I'm Connor Nimmons, signing off.
Oof.
It's always a pleasure talking to the sports ball legend himself.
Only a few sports were allowed to practice and compete this fall. One of those was boys golf. Here's Jackson with a look at their season.
The first sport to come back this fall was golf, and it's been working out great, even during the pandemic.
Yeah, golf is a super nice sport to have during COVID because it's, of course, outside, and you really don't have to be within 6 feet of anyone.
You can space out around the tee box. You just don't walk so close together.
And Coach Finley has also been doing his best to keep all the athletes safe.
At first, it was hard for the guys. I'm like, you got to have a mask. You got to put it on when we're in this situation. They've really become conditioned to it now. But at the beginning, it was kind of hard because they were just like, they would want to sit down together and watch like other players come in. If they got done with their 18, they'd sit on the 18th green and watch, and they'd be bunched together. So I'm like, guys, we got to spread out.
However, with golf being a safe sport, players have taken an opportunity to improve their game.
Golfed in the summer almost every day, and like right now, you can golf anytime you want.
And it's not just Garrett who worked his game.
I think a lot of my kids, especially the varsity players, they took advantage of that, downtime, and they just went to the golf course.
This extra practice has helped the team do really well this season.
In the Front Range League, we're currently second right now, and I think we're doing pretty well. It just depends. We have one more. We need to finish out strong.
For KYOT, this is Jackson DeAndrea.
That's all for this week, Monarch.
This is only the beginning. We'll be back next week. For now,
Remember to wave to Steve.
make sure to wave to Steve.